do back control, just attacking from the back. So it's pretty standard, old school BJJ, attacking from the back. But I'll do what I would call part 2 of attacking from the back. Part 1 being, a few ways to get the back, and you have one hand over the shoulder, one hand under the seatbelt grip. We call the hand that's over the master hand. So if we had them on that side, it was called the master side. So that would be standard jiu-jitsu, and then some attacks that you can do from there. You can do, armbar, cross choke, bow and arrow choke, and things like that. And then how to escape, where to transition to when he's escaping from there. So that's all standard. We're not doing that. So we're going to be mostly tonight doing non-master side, meaning you've got your right hand over the shoulder, but you have them on the left side. So there are some benefits to that. There's some negatives, but there's some positives. So I just want to point out the difference. Normally with white belts and beginners or people that are just starting out, I haven't had a lot of experience on the back. The rule of thumb, the heuristic is that if you have your right hand over, you have them on that side. You understand what I mean? So my right hand's over the shoulder, so we have the person on that side. And that's pretty much a standard. It's always been a standard in jiu-jitsu. People say you always have them on the right side, but that's not true. It's like any rule in life. There's a rule. I don't think it's so much good rule, bad rule. I think it's more, is it appropriate now or not appropriate now? So when you're 5 years old, it's good to hold your mum's hand across the road. That's a good rule. So we say, hold your mum's hand. Always hold my hand before you cross the road. That's great when you're 5, but if you're 25, it begins. So if you're 25 and you're still following that rule, you're being held back, right? And it's the same in jiu-jitsu. Never give your back is a rule, right? We hear it. But there comes a time where, no, there's some techniques require you to give your back to set up some leg attacks and stuff. So it's not so much right or wrong rule, it's who are you, how much experience have you got, and what's the situation. So a good rule of thumb is when you have your right hand over the shoulder, a seatbelt grip, you have them on the right side, the master side. So we're going to be working the non-master tonight, and look at the advantages and disadvantages of that. But before we do it, let's get to there from our feet. There's a bunch of ways we could do that, but we'll just, I don't always do it, but I like to do it if I can in most classes. Probably 70% of the classes I do, or more than half at least, is if we're going to work in a position on the ground, we'll start on our feet and somehow get to that position. So we need to do the whole thing, the takedown and the getting of the position, rather than just say, well, let's assume you're in the haka. Well, hang on, whoa, how did that happen in real life? So it's not, you can't always do it, obviously, because it's very time consuming. It sometimes takes too much time to do that, and then you're not teaching the thing. But I do it a lot. And I usually do it when, say we work a subject, like it could be, so say half guard. You're working as half guard, and we're working half guard for a month. So you only got to spend, one night teaching maybe how we get someone down to the ground and end up in half guard. You've only got to do that once, and then for the rest of that month, they're okay with it, so that you can use it as a warm up for the class, like just 5 minutes, pulling down and getting to that position. So we kind of do that. So at the worst case scenario, it would mean over 12 months period, I would teach at least a dozen ways to go from standing up to the ground to various positions, which I think is healthy in jiu-jitsu to go do that. So we'll do that. That's how we'll start to get the back from the ground. Then we will learn then we'll cover what to do when you're losing the hooks. He's getting away from your back control, how to regain back control and take him to the non-master side. And then we'll look at the basic advantage of the non-master side, of which there's 2 main advantages. After we do that, then we're ready to start. So then we'll start with, which will be a fair time to get that done. But then we'll start with our basic ABC plan from the back on the non-master side. Choke him, triangle him, armbar him. Okay. Choke, triangle, armbar, three really good things. And that'll probably see us a fair way done. And then the last piece, depending on how much time we have left, will be, I'll just give you ways to get to the back. And that of course could go for years, you know, so there's a bit of wiggle room there to do at least one entry to the back, or if we've got more time, 2 entries, 3 entries, or whatever. We'll probably get somewhere between 1 and 3, depending on how efficiently we get through the first part. Yep, so let's get a partner on away, please.